All right, let's talk about something real. Have you ever felt like your body's warranty just expired the moment you hit 30? If that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. We're about to unpack one of the biggest frustrations out there and uncover a truth that, honestly, is pretty liberating. You've heard this a million times, right? Heck, maybe you've said it yourself, staring at a pair of jeans that you swear fit perfectly last year. It's the go-to reason for why things just feel different in our 30s and 40s. It's become this universal truth. But here's a wild thought. What if that universal truth isn't true at all? What if this whole story we've been telling ourselves about our metabolism grinding to a halt is just, well, a story? You might want to buckle up because we're about to challenge that long-held belief. Okay, so let's get right into the science that really turned this whole idea on its head. This isn't just some new theory, it's based on some seriously solid research. We're talking about a landmark study from 2021 that was published in the journal Science, and it pretty much rewrote the rulebook. And when I say this study was big, I mean it was absolutely massive. The researchers didn't just look at a handful of people. They collected data from over 6,400 individuals all across the globe, from tiny little babies just 8 days old all the way to 95-year-olds. And they measured meticulously every single calorie these people were burning. So this is where it gets really, really interesting. This was the bombshell finding. Once the scientists crunched all the numbers and adjusted for things like body size, they discovered something that no one was expecting. Look at that bar for ages 20 to 60. You'd think it would be a downward slope, right? But it's not. It's almost perfectly flat. I'm going to say that one more time, just so it really sinks in. Your metabolism, the speed at which your body burns calories just to keep you alive, stays almost perfectly stable from the time you're 20 all the way to 60. The only time it really starts to decline is after 60, and even then it's a tiny, tiny drop. Okay, so this obviously brings up a huge question. If we can't blame our metabolism anymore, then what in the world is going on? Why does it feel so much harder for so many of us to stay in shape as we get older? Well, let's put on our detective hats and find the real culprits. Turns out it's not just one single thing we can point a finger at. It's more like a gang of subtle changes in our lifestyle that kind of sneak up on us over the years. They create this perfect storm for our bodies to change. So here's the combo. First, if we're not actively fighting it, we start to lose muscle mass. It just happens. Then our daily activity tends to drop off. We go from being an active kid to sitting at a desk all day. On top of that, pile on the chronic stress from work and life, which pumps our bodies full of cortisol and tells it to store fat. Then you've got pore slip messing with our hormones. And the final piece, we keep eating like we're 25, but with a much smaller engine to burn all that fuel. That's it. That's the combo. And this is actually the most empowering part of this whole thing. It means your body isn't failing you. It's not broken. It's just doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's responding perfectly to the new reality and the new signals that you've given it. So if our lifestyle is the cause, that means it's also the solution. And the key to that solution is in one specific place: your muscles. The best way to think about your muscles is as your body's metabolic engine. You see, muscle is what scientists call metabolically expensive tissue. It's a fancy term, but all it really means is that it costs your body a lot of energy, a lot of calories, just to keep it around. Even when you're just sitting on the couch doing nothing, it's always humming in the background, burning fuel. And just look at how huge that difference is. A single kilogram of muscle burns around 13 calories a day just at rest. That same kilogram of fat, it barely even tries, burning only about 4 or 5 calories. So your muscle is literally more than 3 times as active as fat, even when you're asleep. Let's put some real numbers to this. It's pretty common for an average person who isn't doing any strength training to lose about 5 kilograms. That's around 11 pounds of muscle between their mid-20s and 40. It just kind of melts away, because with muscle, it's really a case of if you don't use it, you lose it. Now, losing that muscle means your body suddenly needs about 65 fewer calories every single day just to maintain itself. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, right? But do the math. Over 10 years, that adds up to enough extra unburned calories to create about 4 kilograms or 9 pounds of body fat. And that's without changing a single thing about what you eat. But this right here is the best news in this entire explainer. This is not a life sentence. This isn't like your age, which you can't change. This is a factor you have almost total control over. It's never, ever too late to start rebuilding that metabolic engine. So we know the real problem, and we know the key to the solution. The best part is, it's not some complicated, expensive secret. It's actually a pretty simple, straightforward, and I'll say it, brutally effective formula you can start using right away. So here it is, the formula. Number 1, and this is the absolute top priority, strength training, 3 or 4 times a week. That's how you build and keep that precious muscle. 2, you've got to feed the muscle with enough protein. 3, sleep. You need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep because that's when your body actually does the repair work. 4, you have to find a way to manage stress to get that cortisol down. And 5, just move more. Walking is amazing. It's the easiest way to burn more energy without adding more stress to your life. So let's just end with this one powerful thought. Your metabolism didn't just give up on you when you turned 30. Your body is not broken. It's just reacting. And the second you start changing those inputs, you build a little muscle, you manage your stress, you move a little more, your body will start reacting in a completely new way. The science has shown us that you hold the power to change this whole equation, no matter how old you are. So the only question left is, knowing everything you know now, what's the first small step you can take tomorrow to start?